In the shadowed corners of Japanese folklore, there exists a story that sends shivers through all who hear it. The tale of Oiwa, a spirit cursed to roam the earth in search of revenge. Known as the Curse of Oiwa Forest, it's one of Japan's most spine-chilling ghost stories. A story that speaks of betrayal, heartbreak, and the undying rage of a woman wronged. Oiwa's curse is more than just a tale, it is a dark warning, a reminder of the power of spirits who cannot rest. Oiwa's tragic story began simply enough. She was a young woman in Japan who dreamed of finding love and happiness. Her heart was open, and her dreams were pure, but fate had other plans. She eventually met a man named Eamon, whose charm and warm smile made her feel hopeful about a future together. To Oiwa, Eamon seemed like the answer to her prayers, the man who would protect and cherish her. And for a short time, Oiwa believed she had found her happily ever after. But while she gave him her trust and loyalty, Eamon was a very different person beneath the surface. Eamon was ambitious, ruthless, and deceitful. Behind his kind smile lay a cunning mind, one that valued his own desires above all else. To him, Oiwa was a stepping stone, a temporary attachment to be discarded whenever it suited him. Though she was unaware of his dark intentions, Oiwa slowly began to notice changes in his behavior. His affectionate words grew cold, his touch distant, and Oiwa's heart started to ache with the quiet sense that her marriage wasn't the love story she'd imagined. In time, Eamon's interest turned to another woman, someone he believed could provide him with greater status and wealth. His desire for this new woman consumed him, clouding whatever was left of his conscience. Eamon soon became so obsessed with the idea of pursuing her that he began to see Oiwa as an obstacle in his path. He considered divorcing her, but he feared the shame it might bring. Instead, he plotted something far darker, something no loving husband should ever consider. Driven by his ambition, Eamon decided to rid himself of Oiwa in the cruelest way possible. By poisoning her, he watched Oiwa's trust and innocence with cold calculation as he prepared a vial of poison. He showed no hesitation as he slipped the deadly liquid into her food, knowing well that it would end her life. For Eamon, it was a quick solution to a problem. For Oiwa, it was the beginning of a nightmare she could never escape. When Oiwa consumed the poison, she didn't die immediately. The poison was slow and merciless, causing her body and mind to suffer in unimaginable ways. Her face began to contort, her skin twisting painfully as the poison worked through her body. Each passing moment brought her unbearable pain, leaving her face horribly disfigured. But the physical agony was nothing compared to the torment in her heart. She realized, in those excruciating hours, that the man she had loved and trusted was the one who had plotted her suffering. The betrayal crushed her spirit, filling her with a rage and sorrow that no words could express. As her life slipped away, Oiwa made a silent vow. She could not let this betrayal go unpunished. She could not forgive the man who had stolen her love, her trust, and her future. Finally, her suffering came to an end, and she took her last breath. But her spirit was far from at peace. In Japanese folklore, spirits with unresolved anger and sorrow are known as onryo, vengeful ghosts, who return to haunt those who wronged them. And Oiwa's spirit rose with a fury stronger than any had ever known. After her death, strange events began to unfold. Those close to Eamon began to sense something was wrong. At night, eerie whispers seemed to fill the air, chilling anyone who heard them. Some people claimed to see a pale, ghostly figure with a twisted, tormented face wandering near Eamon's home. The spirit was relentless, bringing fear and unease wherever it went. Eamon himself became haunted by nightmares, so vivid he could scarcely tell where sleep ended and reality began. Each night, he dreamed of Oiwa's face, disfigured and full of wrath, staring at him with eyes that burned with anger. Oiwa's spirit grew powerful, and with it, her curse spread. It is said that anyone who dares to mock her story or speak her name without respect risks invoking her wrath. The curse of Oiwa is not just a tale, it is a force that lingers in the minds of those who know her story. Over the years, many people have tried to retell her tale, and each time, strange accidents and misfortunes seem to follow. Actors and crew members who perform plays about her life report eerie events, props moving on their own, lights flickering, and sudden illnesses befalling those involved. Some actors have even claimed to see her ghost watching them from the shadows, her face twisted in fury as if she were waiting for her revenge. Today, there is a temple in Yotsuya, Tokyo, where locals honor Oiwa's spirit. They pay their respects, believing that her presence still lingers there. Close to the temple is a dark and mysterious forest, often called Oiwa's Forest. This forest is a place that locals treat with caution and respect. Its trees are tall and dense, blocking out most of the sunlight. The forest feels alive, as though it remembers the pain and betrayal that led to Oiwa's tragic end. Those who enter the forest describe a heavy silence, an absence of birdsong, or even the rustling of leaves. Some say it's as though the forest itself mourns Oiwa, holding on to her sorrow and anger. The air in Oiwa's forest is cold, even in the heat of summer. A thick fog often blankets the ground, giving it a haunted, ghostly appearance. Visitors report a creeping sense of dread, a feeling that something unseen is watching them from the shadows. They speak of hearing faint whispers, soft and indistinct, as if someone were calling to them from deep within the trees. And for those who dare to disrespect her memory, the curse can take a more dangerous turn. Stories circulate of people who mocked Oiwa's tale, only to experience accidents, mysterious injuries, or sudden illness soon after. Some visitors to the forest have reported terrifying encounters seeing a woman's ghostly figure with a face twisted in agony, her eyes full of sadness and anger, watching them from the trees. Others feel a chill run down their spine as though icy fingers were trailing along their skin. For those who witness these apparitions, the fear remains long after they leave the forest. As her legend has spread, so has the respect and fear that Oiwa's story commands. Those who wish to tell her story often visit her shrine first, leaving offerings and whispering prayers for protection. This tradition has become a way to acknowledge her pain, hoping to avoid her wrath. But even with these precautions, the curse of Oiwa remains strong, a reminder of the pain and betrayal that gave her spirit its power. In modern-day Japan, Oiwa's story lives on, and her curse remains a powerful force that no one dares to ignore. Her tragic story is a warning about the consequences of cruelty, betrayal, and unending sorrow. It reminds us that some wrongs cannot be forgotten, and that the restless spirits of those who suffered in life may continue to haunt the living. Oiwa's forest is a place of mystery, fear, and endless whispers. For centuries, tales have circulated about this haunted forest, each one more chilling than the last. Locals have passed down these stories for generations, warning newcomers and travelers alike about the forest's dark secrets. No one who enters Oiwa's forest emerges unchanged. Those who dare to venture deep into its tangled paths report hearing ghostly sounds, as if the trees themselves are haunted. Low, sorrowful wails echo through the branches, or perhaps a faint, almost imperceptible whisper floats through the leaves, brushing against the ears of those who wander too far. The feeling is unsettling, creeping under the skin, chilling the listener to the bone. Many brave or foolish enough to visit the forest claim they have seen strange, spectral figures in the distance. They describe these figures as ghostly shapes, shadowy forms that blend with the mist, just visible enough to make their presence known. But these apparitions are always elusive. They lurk in the shadows, lingering just out of sight, as if teasing the viewer, daring them to come closer. Visitors say that every time they try to focus, to really see the figure, it vanishes, leaving them questioning their senses, wondering if they truly saw anything at all. It's no wonder that people believe these ghostly shapes are Oiwa herself, a spirit said to be forever wandering the forest, unable to find peace. They say she waits, watching for anyone foolish enough to disturb her or her sacred woods, ready to unleash her wrath on those who ignore the warnings. Oiwa's story is tragic, rooted in loss, betrayal, and vengeance. She was once a kind woman, innocent and full of hope. But she was wronged by those she trusted most, and the betrayal she suffered left her soul scarred. After her death, legends say, her spirit grew bitter and restless, unable to find the peace she was denied in life. Now she roams her forest, seeking to punish anyone who disturbs her rest or disrespects the land she now guards. Many believe that her soul is bound to the forest, that she is one with the trees, the shadows, and the mist. And those who harm her forest soon discover the terrible consequences of crossing her. The curse of Oiwa does not only target those who disrespect her memory, it also punishes anyone who tries to damage the forest, her final resting place. Over the years, people who attempted to cut down trees or disrupt the natural balance of the forest have experienced frightening consequences. It starts small, a sudden feeling of unease, a prickling on the back of the neck, as though someone is watching. But the effects of the curse soon escalate. Some report tripping over roots that seem to appear out of nowhere. Others get strange scratches, as if an invisible force is clawing at them. And for some, the curse brings even worse luck. The misfortunes become more severe, piling up one after another, until the person is surrounded by disaster. They experience accidents that leave them with broken bones, injuries that keep them bedridden, or even a string of terrible events that lead to personal ruin. Even those who don't believe in curses have found themselves haunted by misfortune after visiting Oiwa's forest. They may laugh off the stories at first, dismissing them as superstitions. But as strange accidents continue to happen, as unexplainable events unfold around them, they start to see the curse for what it truly is, a powerful warning, a reminder that Oiwa is watching. Those who ignore the warnings find that the more they resist, the harsher the curse becomes. It's as if Oiwa's spirit takes their defiance personally, punishing them with relentless misfortune until they finally acknowledge her power. Some try to escape the curse by leaving the area, but no matter how far they go, the misfortune follows, clinging to them like a shadow. It's as if the spirit of Oiwa is bound not only to the forest, but also to the souls of those who disturb her rest. Oiwa's story has become a symbol, a lesson in respect and caution. The people who live nearby treat her tale with reverence, understanding that the spirit of a wronged soul is not something to be taken lightly. They say that her spirit has left a mark on the land, that her presence lingers in every shadow, every rustle of the leaves. The temple near the forest, dedicated to her memory, serves as a reminder to respect the dead. Its walls are covered with offerings from locals who seek her forgiveness, small tokens left to appease her spirit. The temple and the forest are not just places, they are symbols, reminders of the need to respect those who have passed, for their spirits may still hold the power to reach into the world of the living. As one of Japan's most powerful ghost stories, the curse of Oiwa Forest has been passed down through generations. Children grow up hearing the story, learning to approach the forest with caution. Visitors, too, are warned not to venture too far or to disturb anything in the woods. The tale of Oiwa is a warning, a chilling reminder of the power of a spirit's wrath. People say that if you listen closely, you can still hear her voice in the wind, her sorrow and anger swirling through the trees, waiting for those who fail to show respect. Today, the locals still speak in hushed tones of Oiwa's tragedy and the horrors that followed her death. To them, her story is a real and living thing, something to be treated with the utmost care. The forest remains a place of fear and mystery, a space where few dare to venture alone. They know that her spirit lingers there, forever watching, still seeking justice for the wrongs she suffered in life. The trees, the shadows, even the air itself seem to hold a sense of unease, as if her presence has soaked into the very soil of the forest. Those who feel brave enough to enter the forest often come back changed, quieter, more reflective, as if the forest has shown them something hidden, something unsettling. The curse of Oiwa's forest is more than just a story, it's a legacy of fear, a haunting reminder of the consequences of betrayal, and a warning that some spirits do not rest. Even in death, Oiwa holds power, her sorrow and fury woven into the very fabric of her forest. Her curse has become part of the land, a silent reminder of the pain she endured and the lengths she will go to protect her final resting place. To this day, people leave offerings at her temple, hoping to earn her favor or, at the very least, avoid her wrath. Oiwa's forest stands as a powerful symbol of the respect owed to the dead and the consequences of disturbing their peace. It's a place where legends live, where shadows carry secrets, and where a single misstep can bring down the wrath of a spirit wronged. For those who dare to ignore the warnings, the forest remains an ever-present reminder that some spirits are best left undisturbed. So, if you ever find yourself near Oiwa's forest, remember to tread carefully. You may never know when her watchful eyes are upon you.